Welcome back to Cine Mojito, the home for your favorite movie breakdowns and story recaps. Today, we're diving into the explosive world of Nobody 2, Plummerville Vendetta, where Hutch Mansell is back, but this time family ties and vengeance collide in one brutal showdown. So, grab your popcorn, sit back, and let's jump straight into the story. The movie begins with Bob Odenkirk's character, Hutch Mansell, seated in an interrogation room with a dog and appearing battered. He is questioned by two agents about his identity. Prior to this, we learn that Hutch has resumed his life as an assassin, accepting contracts from the barber to pay back the Russians for the destruction of the Obshok. He has become more estranged from his wife Becca and their children Sammy and Brady as a result of his profession. Hutch admits that he is burdened by the fact that his job keeps him away from his family. Later on, Hutch spots an advertisement for Plummerville, a vacation town they visited as children with their father David and Harry. Hutch persuades Becca and the children to take a family vacation as summer vacation is quickly approaching. Hutch assures Becca that he will avoid talking about his work life while spending time with his family. Even before accepting his next contract, he informs the barber that he is asking for a break. In order for David to accompany the Mansells on their journey, they fetch him up from his retirement home. The family later attempts to visit the water park together, but is informed that it's closed because of an incident. Hutch takes them to the local eatery for lunch after offering them vouchers for hot dogs as a comfort. Since Hutch was thinking back on his time there with David and Harry, he attracts the unwanted attention of Abel, the local sheriff. After receiving free passes, the family then visits the arcade. Hutch attempts to speak with Brady while he's there. Brady uses some of the tickets to purchase a reward for Sammy after giving them to some of the girls who were observing him. Max, one of the girls' boyfriends, lashes out at Brady for speaking to her before tearing Sammy's award in two. Max gets smacked in the face by Brady, who then twists his arm around in response. Both Hutch and a few of the arcade employees step in. When Sammy tries to pick up her doll, a staff member strikes her arm, forcing them to leave. For Becca's sake, Hutch first attempts to ignore it, but soon returns to beat the living daylights out of the employee, along with a coworker and another man who attempted to play the hero. Abel is prepared to question Hutch when they're in the police station with Brady. He meets Max's father, Wyatt Martin, who owns the Plummerville theme park. Brady wrenched Max's throwing arm, which is why he's upset with Hutch. Wyatt tells Hutch and his family to leave town at once. Abel instructs his men to pursue and eliminate Hutch when he consents. After a long time apart, Hutch and Becca spend a nice afternoon drinking wine in their room after the kids have been sent to their rooms. Later, Hutch calls Harry to come help him out. He tells Hutch that Plummerville has always been a covert location for bootlegging and narcotics trafficking. Lendina, a deranged lady, is in charge of the operation. She is shown playing poker against a rival in her casino. She murders the man, her dealer, and all remaining witnesses after discovering that he was cheating. The barber cautions Hutch not to irritate Lendina. Wyatt is seen working for Lendina since she murdered his father and had him pay off his debts. Lendina has her hooks in Wyatt, but he wants to go. Lendina double-crosses Wyatt by talking to Abel after they hang up because he works for her too. She instructs him to take something or someone that is valuable to Wyatt in order to keep him in line. Max is abducted by Abel and held captive. Hutch finds a massive stack of money intended for Lendina, as well as a warehouse where Abel and his henchmen are gathering. Hutch sprays gas on the money and says he will burn it if Abel doesn't give up on him and his family. Abel gives in, but Hutch watches Max being held away as he leaves. After a brief absence, he returns to begin destroying Abel's thugs. Hutch pushes the man's head down into the table saw blade when he tries to murder him with it. Once all but thugs are dead, Hutch releases Max and fires one of the lamps, setting the money and other chemicals around on fire as Abel flees. Hutch and Max drive off as the building explodes, killing everything within. Lendina soon quickly finds out that all her assets have been taken away after her thugs deliver her surveillance footage of Hutch and his family in Plummerville. After surviving but suffering severe burns, Abel calls Lendina and asks her to gather more men to pursue Hutch. She goes after the Mansells after formally declaring war on them. Hutch has David transport Becca and the children to an adjoining lodge for protection, since the baddies will try to capture Becca and the children at the hotel. He also takes Max there for protection, and he and Brady are now officially friendly. Before he leaves to complete the task, he confesses to Becca that he betrayed his word and advises her to leave him for her own safety. Hutch approaches Wyatt, who is infuriated at Max's absence and intoxicated. He calms Wyatt down after trying to assault Hutch and lets him know that Max is safe. Wyatt describes his relationship with Lendina and his hatred for her. Lendina would have been killed by Wyatt's father. With his armory, he shows Hutch. With a little help from David and Harry, they continue to booby-trap the entire theme park while they wait for Lendina. Becca grabs a weapon nearby with her and asks Brady to take control while she goes for a walk. While her henchman Cartouche dispatches a few gunmen to the resort to pursue the family, Lendina and her henchmen arrive at the theme park. Lendina orders her men to execute Abel after he takes her to Hutch and Wyatt, because he's a pain in the ass, and the shooters then begin to pursue the men. They lead the thugs into every imaginable trap, and each thug is quickly destroyed, whether it's grenades or explosives in the ball pit. Max hides Sammy in the resort while Brady tries to fend off a thug. When Harry reaches him, he uses his katana to cut up the villains before engaging Cartouche. After a short altercation, Harry beheads Cartouche. Hutch, David, and Wyatt have all been rendered enabled, but the most of the park's villains have been defeated. Lendina gets ready to have Hutch put to death, but before she can do so, Wyatt shoots one of her goons. In response, that woman's partner loses it and tries to kill Wyatt, but she's also shot. When Lendina tries to murder Hutch on her own, Becca reaches the rifle and shoots Lendina in the eye and chest with tranquilizer darts. David gets up to set off the last batch of explosives as a last-stop wave of shooters arrive. Lendina gives a small smile as she and her men are burned, and Hutch and Becca jump into a pool as the entire property catches fire. Later, we see the agents questioning Hutch, Becca, and the dog who was saved from the park. After being summoned by their supervisor, the agents are forced to release the Mansells. After returning home, the family, along with Brady's fiancé, watches a presentation of the trip's photos. Since Wyatt and Max are now all friends, they also include photos of the family having a blast. Hutch sits and smiles, having finally some quiet time with his family. And that's the full story of Hutch Mansell's return, from family vacation to full-blown war zone. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a breakdown of your favorite action thrillers. What did you think of Hutch's journey this time? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing your theories. Until next time, this is Cine Mojito, signing off. Stay safe, stay curious, and keep watching great movies.